$79?
Marlboro Game.
I guess that's still your.
79, so yes.
Yeah, I was on.
I'm gonna start walking on. If I don't rotate
Yeah,
it.
one more.
It's a long watch. Watching the
And
car.
all these are program. Okay, no. Just good.
It's gonna be 150, 300. We can go ahead and that says we're good to go. We put them there. It's gonna take me that
I'm
long.
good to go, Jen, whenever you are.
You're good. You're good.
Everyone got their phones out their pockets and shit.
Yes, no,
Buttons right. Blinds are good. Everybody's phones turned off.
All right, I'll go 5 o'clock together. Take me 3 seconds to get there, so you're not losing any time.
Always trying to get the clock. The action starts in 4 folds.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought I just had to like exit out and read it.
Not gonna be a cards in the box.
This one.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still gonna be in 7, but you can move your chips out.
Yeah, we can move them after this side. Yeah, right.
No, no.
Alrighty, 7 is going to raise.
Alright guys, we are back. Champions Social Club,
1.1.
Lone Star Poker Series main event, 5 players.
What are they guaranteed right now? 13,800.
9 folds.
There we see 18,200, which is an incredible payday. Not one of these players right now wants to walk away with $13,850. So $13,850. But if they can get all the way up to first place and win this tournament, $81,000. That's a lot of money.
81,000 sounds real good. What is up with these people, these guys holding their hand on their shoulder these days? What is that about? I've been seeing
I think it's just about just like being comfortable. Like, what do I do with my hands?
I know, but 3 years ago, I never seen anyone do that.
I have been doing something similar for years.
What chess?
Which is like something like, and it's not always just like across the chest. It's like sometimes like back here. Like, you know, when you're leaned over the table, sometimes like you don't want to have your hands all the way out. I've always just like, subconsciously, it's not like I'm doing that because I'm like, I want to look like I'm comfortable. It's just a comfortable place to put my hand. And
This is a comfortable.
well, no, I'm not doing all the way back like this.
You like this?
Just like leaned over the table. Like, look, Chris is like leaned up with his arms crossed. That's something else I do. And we see Brandon raise it here with a pocket pair of 5s, and Chris is in the small blind, and a 3-bet's coming here with the ace king. And Chris is the chip leader. Brandon is second in chips.
Fireworks.
1,600,000. 4 folds.
And Hayden obviously folds the jack 5. And this is one of the spots where, you know, we talk about
He's in a small blind.
earlier in the day, if you raise it with the pocket 5s and somebody 3-bets, it's so easy to pill and take a flop. We're 5-handed in a tournament. It's so hard. You have 2 5s.
Yeah. I mean,
Range is tightened up a lot. Even though we're only playing 5-handed right now, the ranges still get a lot tighter, especially as you see these guys. All right, am I drunk or was that camera?
I
just
was
moving
thinking, I was
around
like,
a lot?
what is going on
All right,
here?
I didn't know if I was drunk, if there was an earthquake, or if Eric was out there adjusting these cameras. And here's Brandon again. He's gonna raise it up here with the 2 8s, and this will be the second hand back from break, and also the second hand that he's raised. So these guys are to think
600.
Brandon went on break, maybe watched a few hands of the stream, saw how tight everybody was playing because of these pay jumps.
And just started mixing it up.
Yeah, and again, they have no idea what his cards are. So they don't know that he had 2 hands that he's forced to raise it with.
I don't think Mark is defending here, based on the way he's played. Well, but he's defended here. I would defend here. I would probably. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would do.
Yeah, and Mark is going to be in pretty rough shape. Luckily for Helm, it's a spot that he doesn't have to continue with very little equity. And it's also a spot to where if he did decide to continue, that Brandon could not continue. So,
Yeah. I haven't gotten it from Mark though. I don't think he's even like this would be a good spot to bet. I haven't seen him take any of these spots before, and he's mixing it up. So you haven't seen me take a spot like this before? Huh? Watch.
yeah, and Mark's down to 5 players out of 877. So you have to know that he's not just totally clueless. He knows what he's doing. He's going to take spots, and this river card is actually going to end up being a bad river for Mark because there's a chance he could check it thinking I could beat straight draws that he floated me with. I could beat flush draws. I made a pair. But no, he's going to bet it, and it's going to be hard for Brandon to call again here. I'm not saying it's going to be impossible.
And he flicks in the call.
And Brandon makes a very incredible call here. And he's going to win the pot.
Who did I say? Never mind. Never mind. I'm not even going to ask that question.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Please, because I'm trying to carry in 2 bets, 3 bets. I'm like, and now it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, all right, are we going to play the limit for 3 days? Like, yeah. 2 bets,
When it's
3
a
bets.
table, it's easier with the numbers, you know, so. Alrighty. Doesn't have to be the big one. 3 and 3, there you go. And action will start with Rich this round.
And we see action fold around to the blinds here. Mark in the small blind with the king 9 versus a guy he just attempted to bluff the last hand with the queen 4 suited.
725,000.
I think we're going to be seeing a flop here.
Yeah, this is definitely a hand that Brandon can call in position. And Brandon's going to give it up.
This is why I am on the rail, because I've been calling out the wrong
Yeah.
action.
No,
every
it's
time.
good to have you here, DJ, because we know when you say what's going to happen, we know to expect the opposite. So, for those out there that tuned in for DJ's commentary, he appreciates it. One of these days, we will have a spades commentary, and he'll probably be good at that one.
Lock it up.
I don't see it.
We got some spades commentary. Don't worry. You want to talk about solved? I've solved it.
Yeah?
I'm 2 now.
All right, DJ solved spades.
No, but otherwise known as
Folds to
first.
Hayden in the cut here with the king 9, and he's just going to give it up as the short stack. And again, this is where dynamics are slipping. Earlier in the day, I fully expect to raise out of Hayden. Knowing that it's Richard's big blind, and Richard doesn't give up easy, does he?
Richard does not give up.
Yeah.
I think he
So-
might give this hand up.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can't see
Mark's gonna raise it. 600.
through the cards when we're playing, but the 10-4 offsuit is a hand.
If
Does
Richard
not play
doesn't
well
give this one
post.
up, I am thoroughly impressed by his get out there. He went on break though. If this was pre-break, oh man, Richard, before he cooled down. Rich just settle back in.
Yeah,
to
and
his
here you see,
goat
guys,
set.
blinds are up to 300,000 now for the big blind. It's getting expensive. Chris, chip leader at 39 big blinds, and Hayden is the short stack at 11 big blinds. Richard, second shortest at 14. And of the two short stacks, Richard and Hayden, I would have to think Hayden's paying more attention to the page up than Rich is.
Of the two short stacks, Richard and Hayden, I remember when they at the start of this final table, they had a lot more chips than everyone
For
else.
the majority of the final table, they did have dominating chip stacks. And now the guys who were the two shortest, Chris and Brandon, have the most chips. And it folds to Rich here in the small blind with the 7 deuce off. And both these guys have natural nines. And Chris is going to win it.
Big hand. Big hand. I had the complete
Total prize pool $447,270 for a tournament that we could drive to from our house. I know we keep talking about it, but I keep talking about it for a very good reason.
It makes my eyes water. Like when I think about it, like, wow. I remember they had a local tournament a while back, and it was so far away from my house, I still had to get a hotel.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite facts about Houston is that it takes an hour to get to Houston from Houston. And we see Rich move it in here with the 8-9 offsuit. I expect one of these two blinds to look him up. If Chris folds, Hayden could call it off here with King Queen. But if Chris calls, Hayden's going to get out of the way.
I think Hayden's getting it in. He would be left with sub 10 big blinds. Wait, yeah, I think he would have 9.
And I know Chris's game very well. Chris does not like these small pairs. He knows if he calls off here, the best case scenario, he's a coin flip. He could be crushed. And it would be a standard coin flip with the 6s versus ace 8-9. Maybe not so standard, but yeah, I think Hayden's going to call here. Obviously not an automatic call, but I feel like he's going to get it in,
Hayden's about to prove.
and he does. And Hayden's going to be about a 2-1 favorite.
Go like this.
And Chris
That's a pretty
would
good
have
flop.
flopped a set.
Oh yeah.
Not only would Chris have flopped a set, Hayden would have folded, and
true.
Chris would have won this pot. Either way, Chris would have won the pot and
Oh, huge city.
won more chips. And yeah, you hear the deep breath from Chris because he was on the fence. It was a coin flip. He checked the time. He used DJ's algorithm. The algorithm said fold.
You can't always trust the process.
And there's Hayden right back in the middle of it. And Rich did not bust, so we are still 5-handed. Rich down to 3 big blinds, though. I know somebody that's still left in had 3 big blinds at one point. I don't know if I've talked about it yet. I think I did.
He was down to 3 big blinds at some point in this tournament.
Yeah. Oh, it was Hayden. That's who it was. I couldn't remember. Yep, it was Hayden. Was down to 3 big blinds.
And then what?
And now he just beat Rich in a pot to put Rich down to 3 big blinds.
Wow. Circle of life.
And Hayden is
He just-
3rd of 5 in the chip counts. They're all pretty even.
So Hayden once had 3 big blinds. double through a guy to leave him with 3 big blinds, and he's in the number 3 spot of the tournament.
All right,
This is-
fun fact. When this table started today, the feature table, the very first one, 3 out of 5 hands or 4 out of 6 hands or something were won with pocket 3s. I said at that time, 3-3 was the hand of the day.
So 3's, so yeah, 3.
So Hayden had 3 big blinds. He's sitting in seat 3.
All right, what time is it? I mean, what's gonna happen at 3?
It is 3 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, this is like Inception or something.
1,000, Rich folds.
All right, Brandon's gonna raise it. Is it 3x? It's not 3x, but he still raised it nonetheless with the ace queen. And it looks like it's going to just get through here. Brandon's going to win some blinds. And he does. And you see these guys looking over at Rich's stack right now, and that's because they know he's extremely short. And if Rich does bust, everybody earns an extra 4,000.
Oh, yeah.
And you see it there. Rich down to 3 big blinds, 1.1 million. We are at 300K big blind. So if Rich could bust before the next person busts, they all take a $4,500 pay jump basically. And Rich is gonna start the hand under the gun.
I do too. I'm the same way.
And what does Chris have?
What does Chris have?
So Rich goes
the
all
hand
in
of
under
the day.
gun. And what did I say the hand of the day was?
Chris folds.
So Chris has pocket 3s, and he's just gonna call the all-in from Rich.
Mark folds.
Very interesting spot for Brandon.
This is super interesting because this is a spot where Brandon would like to 3-bet, but with ICM implications, it's totally okay to just call here. Let's try to bust the guy. Let's move up an extra $4,500. We're going to take both of our hands against one hand. And it comes ace high, and he checks, and Chris is obviously going to check back here. Oh my goodness, and Chris turns a 3.
And somebody
And
folded
now-
a 3.
And now Chris is not going to be checking back, even though it brought 3 diamonds and they want to bust a player out. Yeah,
But they have a team.
Brandon checks. Chris is going to bet, and Brandon with the ace queen and the queen of diamonds is forced to call here. And the river's a queen, and Brandon's going to check. And did Chris check back?
He checked back.
Yeah, Chris checked back. He could have got, and you hear Chris. He says, "Wow." He thought that there wasn't any way you could get any more chips out of Brandon, and then Brandon turned that hand over. It was obviously a shocking hand for Chris to see, and with that, we now have 4 players left. And Chris, massive chip leader, 49 big blinds. Brandon still second in chips, but only half of Chris's.
Well, and just your hand's so big. Anyways. I'm kind of surprised you didn't bet the flop. I know why you did it, but the flop is like,
Slides, everybody.
your hand is so
Your hand
huge.
is small. Thank you.
I honestly think you should have. Do you think Sager, what is he doing?
Okay, action on surface round repeated.
Yeah, but your hand's so big. You don't want exactly to happen what just happened.
Hayden folds.
Yeah, and if you guys could hear the table talk, they're talking about how big that hand was for both of them.
Yeah, I think Chris was saying that is a fine. That Brandon should probably just be betting there because he doesn't want to happen. What
Right,
just
exactly.
happened, yeah.
And Brandon knows when Chris flats the all-in from Rich that Chris has something, but still ace-queen. Big hand, right? And Mark's going to raise it here with the 2 8s. Brandon from the small blind against a button raise, 4-handed, or...
Whew. Well,
Yeah, that was button, right?
yeah, it was button versus small. Oh no, he's +1, so he's cut off.
Folds.
Mark just instantly.
Yeah, no,
just
plus one's button right now.
Plus one. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of it. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking
no,
plus
we're
one.
four-handed, and Brandon's good at 3-bet to 2.2 million. Both these hands are really big four-handed. And Mark makes a call, and Brandon does flop the ace, and Mark has two ways home right now. He needs to hit an 8, or he needs to bluff Brandon out. It's going to be really hard to bluff Brandon out with these stack sizes right now.
Did Brandon already check?
Yeah, it looks like Brandon might have checked it over to Mark. I don't hate the check here. Give Mark a chance to bluff it.
Oh no, Brandon never checked.
Okay, so Brandon first act moves in. Yeah, it looked like those chips were going in the pot.
Mark folds, Brandon will win the pot.
Yeah, Mark folds. Big pot for Brandon. Yeah, and again, there's the payouts, guys. They're all locked up 25K. Obviously, a huge payday. So the next person that busts will get 25K, but it's a 10K pay jump to the next spot for 35K. And obviously, they're all playing for first place, 81,000 to the winner. Mark first to act with the King 5. Very good hand, four-handed. King 5 suited. He's going to raise it. Brandon with a very pretty 8-9. These are hands you like to see early levels of tournaments that you can extract a lot of value when you make big hands. As the stacks get shallow, though, that's not a very good hand that you like to play. Brandon knows it, makes a fold. We haven't seen Chris's cards yet.
Mark is down to 11 big blinds.
Yeah, Chris is thinking it through here.
What do we think Chris has here? Under the gun, open. Yeah, it's like King Jack.
2 7s, something like that. And I don't think it's 2 7s now. I don't think he would have folded 2 7s.
I think he would have thought about it a little bit longer at least.
Yeah, exactly. But a big king type hand. I don't think he had ace jack.
I think he has like King Jack, King 10.
Yeah,
Maybe like 2 3s or 4s.
no 2 3s. Could it be 2 3s? 2 3s is the hand of the day.
Well, the problem
We're
is, does he
playing
know
that way.
that? Does he know the hand 2 3s is the hand of the day? So, like, we know. Actually, he knows. Yeah, he knows. What am I talking about? I mean, he just made a set of 3s. He knows.
Yeah, exactly. Hayden's gonna fold. There are the payouts, guys. 81,000 to first, almost 50,000 for second, 35,000 for third, 25,000 for fourth. All four of these guys have a very nice payday locked up for 2 days of work.
Imagine.
I'm pretty sure I'll put the same amount of hours in as these four guys combined.
How much are you guaranteed, Ray?
I'm guaranteed to have a lot of drinks. They're guaranteed to have a lot of money.
A lot of drinks versus a lot of money. That's
Yeah,
mean,
and I think Chris moved over and he's putting his cards on the wrong reader. We're not picking up Chris's cards right now, so he might be putting them on the wrong reader. We'll have Eric handle that so we can see these hands that Chris is not playing right now. We see Hayden limp in with the 9 deuce off against the short stack Mark with the king 8. Mark checks it, flops ace high. I was talking about this with Gavallo in the booth earlier. Obviously, dynamics have changed, stacks have changed a lot. How does it make you feel when small blind limps in and the flop comes ace high, and small blind limps in and they lead it into you? What do you think? What's the first thing that goes through your head?
It makes my blood boil.
Yeah, I know you don't have an ace. You know I don't have an ace, but you know what? Let's go to war. All right, there we go. We got Chris's cards now. A very disciplined fold with the suited jack. And now we don't get Hayden's cards.
Guess what?
Brandon gets the walk with the ace and the big blind.
What a crime.
Yeah, you lump in the small blind and then it comes ace high and you lead into me. It's just like a sign of disrespect. Like you have no respect for me. You just don't bet the ace high.
Yellow loud enough for her to the wall.
Yeah, I was talking about it a lot with Gavallo, and it was actually pretty funny that we talked about it, and it happened 2 different times to where the small blind limped in with the ace flopped, and they just bet out both times.
For the extra long
It
wash.
doesn't happen often. Usually you have an ace in the small blind, you're like, I'm going to raise it just to protect my hand. Or
I
you
limp the
limp
small
in.
blind a lot with
I
with
limp
ace.
small blinds a lot too, because I want to be able to limp my 6-9 suited. And
Is that part of the classes that were in the program?
you know, so I don't want the big blind to think just because I limp, I have nothing.
That's what I've been
And
doing
then,
my whole career.
but when it comes ace high, I usually just check.
I usually just, I'm one of those people that makes people's blood boil. I like to lead.
Yeah, and that's why everybody hates you. Because you make blood boil.
I do it to people, but I hate when people do it to me. Like,
Yeah,
this mother.
and everybody loves me. Everybody hates you. Nothing against you.
Gee willikers, I just need to stop leading those. I just need to stop leading those flops. And
Yeah, take better lines.
that is key. If you want to have friends in poker,
We're here for friends.
Takes-
We're not here for money.
I get it. Take friendlier lines. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you get it now.
I gotta eat my trainer at noon.
Well, I have a feeling this will be over by then. Maybe, maybe not. These guys are going at it. Mark decides not to go at it with the Jack 3. Brandon will put some chips in here with the 2 9s from the button.
Brandon raises to 650,000.
What does Hayden do?
Yeah, well, Chris folds the small blind again. We did not get to pick up his cards.
Hayden is ICMing it up.
What'd you do?
I always get it in.
Yeah, Chris still chip leading here with 13 million. Brandon not far behind him with 11 million. Hayden 6 million, and Mark right at 4 million. And it's still anybody's ball game. And you see Mark with the pair of sixes here in the big blind. Everybody's playing pretty snug right now, so Chris is going to try to steal the big blinds. With the big blind being pretty short, he thinks, you know, or he knows he's going to really have to have a hand to defend here with. And it's going to be unfortunate for him that Mark does have a hand. And we're going to see a flop. And Ace King 9 tends to hit the guy who raises pre-flop quite often.
Yeah, I think Chris is probably going to win this pot at a very high rate.
What do you do with 2 6s here, DJ?
Sometimes you just got to rip it in and make them prove it.
Would you rather go home broke or curious?
I mean,
You've
listen,
done both?
I'll drink my tears.
And it goes check, check here on the turn. River's an 8, and Chris now actually River's the best hand.
Doesn't even have to. Wow.
And it's great to have the chip lead sometimes, right? But look at Mark. Mark says, I don't care if you river the best hand. You're going to have to call if you want to win this. And Chris
is
obviously
not gonna
can't call it here.
Way to go, Mark.
Yeah, I love it. That's poker, baby. You see there, blinds 150K, 300K, 300K going into the ante. And these guys are still really deep. This thing could go on for a while. I hope everybody made them a pot of coffee and they're in for the long haul with us.
We got 69 viewers.
Nice.
69.
Nice.
Landed on that number, huh?
Chris obviously going to raise it up here with the ace 10. No resistance from Hayden. Mark with some suited connectors in the small blind. Like I said earlier in the day, this hand looks so pretty.
I got a feeling both of these hands are going in the muck.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, Mark wanted to think it over for a second because I got the 4-5 suited. I could flop a lot of things here. Earlier in the day, when stacks were deeper, when you have 60 big blinds, we're taking flops. You're making me dip.
She was gonna buzz out the lane, I'm just like, here, you already changed it.
He didn't show up. Was he gonna kick me?
It's time for him to go home. He needs to go.
Does she like him?
You what?
Does she like him? Does she have no?
We see Mark here with the 2 10s.
Okay.
Unfortunately for him, he's going to run into 2 hands that just can't defend at this point. But fortunate for him, he is going to pick up the blinds.
I'm thoroughly impressed that y'all took down Josh Shaw.
Yeah, you guys that are watching on Facebook right now, if you have any questions for us, I'm here with DJ Alexander.
Yeah, send racing questions in.
Yeah, the
Ray
8
loves-
shot go. If y'all want to pick his brain about his strategy, figure out his random number generator that's always running in his head.
We can the random number generator. We can discuss that. If you like lighting it on fire,
for a couple hours. Anybody want some escape room advice? DJ not only the GOAT poker player in town, also the GOAT escape room master.
Oh man, Ray is buttering me up. Ray is trying to.
I can't wait till he gives me some 3-1 odds on our next escape room. Folds to Chris in the small blind. He raises. Hayden's going to defend against the min raise. Chris is going to flop the best hand, but it's not a very good flop for Chris at the ace king jack. Obviously, we know what Hayden has, so we know it's a great flop. They go check, check. Chris checks again. This might open up the door for Hayden, but he doesn't pull the trigger. He checks back. River's a king. Great card for Chris.
Check, check, and
No, Chris. I think Chris bet. I'm not certain. Either way, Chris wins the pot. Yeah, these ships have really moved around. You talked about earlier that Rich just busted. He had the chip lead most of the day. Hayden had second in chips most of this final table, and Chris and Brandon were the shortest. And here they are, sitting 1 and 2 in chips. Chris 13 million, Brandon 10 million.
I still have a lot of play left.
There is so much play. These structures are amazing. And Chris with the king on the button, king 4 off. He's gonna raise it. And it's be good enough to win the pot.
Chris is not chip lead.
And there you see it, guys. Chris Shipley with 14 million, Brandon with 11 million. Mark with 5.7 million, and Hayden with 5 million. We're down to 4 players. Mark picking up the ace king of clubs. Chris first to act with the king jack, and he's obviously going to put a raise in four-handed. Hayden with the ace 9. I expect his chips to go in the middle here. And there it is. Hayden all in for 5 million. Mark is going to re-ISO and put his chips in here, if I know anything.
Riveting.
And Mark to think it over. Obviously, he wants Hayden to bust here first, so he could take his pay jump. Can't remember the last time I got to say.
Oh my gosh. Mark is a bad man. Ace king suited.
I can't remember the last time I got to say I'm all in for 5 million. What about you?
I don't think I've ever said that.
All in for 5 million.
I don't think I've
And
ever
Chris
accumulated that
folds.
many chips.
Chris folds. Mark not wanting to give up his chip position, folded.
What's his chip position?
There you see it. And he still has 18 bigs.
Alright.
Yeah, everybody's just waiting on a spot here.
Yeah. It's hard to find good spots.
It really is. Yeah, Mark obviously putting Hayden on a pair there and just not wanting to race for his tournament life. Blind versus blind, and Brandon's going to raise it up here. Chris in position, the 9-7 suited, perfect type of hand to take a flop with, especially as deep as these two are. And this isn't the type of hand you're hoping to just flop top pair. And as I say that, what does he do?
This is not a hand you want to commit ICM suicide either.
Nope. And I expect these two guys to play a very small pot, even though it's top pair versus the king high flush draw. On the 7-6 deuce all club, Brandon has the only clubs, 2 overs and a flush draw. And the 9 of clubs is going to go check here. Chris has top 2. Brandon has the king high flush. And Brandon's going to take the initiative and bet out, it looks like. You see the Octagon 100K chips.
Such a sucky spot. You have time
Yeah,
to,
it really is. And Chris is looking at his chips, which usually indicates that you're going to continue with the hand.
You know, if you
Brandon
hit-
bets $1 million. Chris calls.
You make your hand here.
And the river's a brick for Brandon. And he's going to win this pot. And he's going to bet 2.2 million, it looks like. And it's going to be really tough for Chris to call.
2.2 million.
Yeah, this is the spot with Brandon's bet. And he just like, man, like,
Yeah,
He might think
it
like-
feels like you're getting bluffed, but it's like, whatever. You just bluffed me.
Yeah,
Whatever. We'll play this pot again. Let me have some water.
I feel like that's not Chris's thinking here. He's thinking like, oh man, like, is he only betting ace of the club? Only betting ace of club with this sizing? Like, would he bet smaller flushes? So I like
Yeah,
to
and-
I like to check the flop here with his hand.
And you see Chris look over at Hayden's stack, at Mark's stack.
Yeah, that's when I for this hand we got to a flop. I said you don't want to commit ICM suicide here. And
Yep,
it's kind
exactly.
of the type of spot that you don't want to be in when you have two guys with sub 15 big blind stacks and you and
Yeah,
me
and whoever wins the spot's now chip leader.
and a fairly big chip leader as well. And Chris is probably not raising, so
Yeah, and Chris cannot win this spot without raising. He calls, and Brandon's gonna be a very large chip leader.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think his mindset or his thought process was it's ace of clubs or nothing.
Right. Yeah, it's ace of clubs for nothing, and would Brandon actually check the 7-6 deuce all club flop with ace X, ace of clubs?
Right.
The answer to that question is most likely no.
Agreed.
Yeah, and see, Chris is kicking himself. He knows that was a misstep because of the stack sizes around him.
Yeah.
He's still in great shape, second in chips.
That is a spot that, for you viewers out there, that is a spot and scenario where you should just take a turn card, in my opinion.
I don't hate the flop bet just because he has flop pair. Excuse me, I can't talk anymore. He has top pair on the flop, and he could protect himself because Brandon's just going to check fold his queen jacks and hands like that.
Yeah, you did.
And you
can
don't
deny
wanna-
a little equity, so
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely don't think it's bad. I just, in that particular spot, I just want to pot control and try to get to a cheap showdown and not put in a lot of chips at risk.
Let's go.
And Brandon opening on the button with the king 7, and Chris coming along with the king 8.
Just Hayden thinking about a squeeze? No.
9-9 Jack. I'm the first player that reaches for their chips is going to win this hand.
Yeah. I feel like this one's gonna go check to the river.
Yeah, they both feel like they have the best hand now, but if they bet, they know they get called only by better, right?
The turn.
You only get called by better and you're not bluffing out a whole lot.
Probably. That was the plan. I don't know if I actually would have followed through with it.
And they do chop it up.
Guaranteed.
And you see the time.
25,000.
The time right there. It's 2:44 in the morning. These guys have been playing this day 2 tournament for 13 hours already.
You know, I know you have a lot of chips, but you don't gotta, come out there prematurely.
And there's Brandon under the gun, the Jack 4. He's obviously going to let it go. Chris on the button versus the 2 shorter sacks, suited Queen 7. And Hayden's going to move it all in with our mystery hand. We don't have any sponsors for this type of hand yet, but if anybody out there wants
Where's
to
Jack's
become a
mindset?
sponsor for our mystery hands, what do you think he had?
I think he had the Ace of Clubs and the 10 of Spades.
You are a sicko because I was putting him on exactly Ace 10 myself.
When you know,
And
you
everybody
know.
knows I'm the best. So if I put him on Ace 10 and you agreed with it, it's got to be Ace 10. We'll make sure to ask him on break. Sure, he'll remember. Folds the Hayden on the button. He's going to fold. Mark's probably going to put in a raise here with the Ace Queen. Blind versus blind against the chip leader, and he moves all in. Brandon's obviously not going to call it off here.
$200, $400.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever played 200, 400,000 no limit before. There's your VPIP. Voluntary chips put into play. Chris and Mark at 44% each. That means almost half the hands they have voluntarily put money in the pot.
They get after it.
Action players. Going to fold around to Brandon and the small blind again. He's obviously going to put in a raise here, as he's been doing every time from the small blind.
I don't see Chris defending this one.
Yeah, Chris is bleeding back down to the same area as Mark and Hayden are in. So he can't really afford to play too many pots, and there you see it. Chris 18 blinds, Hayden 17 blinds, Brandon all the way up to 15 million and 37 blinds now.
Would this be a spot you would start trying to have talks of a chop? Giving you stack sizes and the players?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
No.
I have never once in any tournament I've been in bring up a chop. A lot of that has to do with when there's 300 players left, it's hard to get everyone to agree.
Wow, you made it down to the final 300.
I
bragging?
know. I'm not trying to brag on stream, guys, but I am kind of the GOAT. And we see Mark raise it here with the Jack 10. He's going to win it.
800 people started this tournament. You outlasted 500.
I did. Not going to lie, I wish they would have chopped it 300 ways. They did not. Our boy Jesse Payton's on stream. Says, DJ is the village idiot.
Wow, man. This is what I get?
Yeah, this is what you get. For those that don't play Werewolf with us, it's your loss. DJ has been the village idiot several times.
Cold-blooded.
We still love him, though. What's up, Jesse? My guess is you just finished your comedy show tonight. You're getting home. You're laying in bed. You had nothing better to do but listen to me and DJ make fun of the way that Chris is playing poker right now. Just kidding, Chris. You guys were playing awesome. This has been a very fun stream. Hayden limps in small blind, and Mark picks up an ace in the big blind, moves it in. Hayden obviously folds.
I won't ever forget Mark laying down that ace-king suited. Never. I am thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, when Hayden goes back and sees this later and sees the hand that he could have been up against there, obviously we don't know the cards that could have come.
Yeah, for you to have the, like, you just have it in you to just like, you know what? Nah, I'm putting this in the muck. You are a stone cold killer. Nothing's stopping you. Wow.
All right, Bart Bogard with the ultimate needle in the chat. I'm not even going to repeat this one. If you're watching the chat and you saw Bart's needle, if you know, you know. What do you think, DJ?
I wish I could add
Are you about to
images.
jump through the phone? Now, I love Bart. Before he made this comment, did you love Bart? You're shaking your head no. Bart, I know you're watching. DJ is not happy with you right now. Hayden with the queen 10 under the gun.
900, thank you.
Mark calls.
Yeah, so Hayden raised it with the queen 10. Mark calls from the button with the ace deuce.
It's diamonds.
He does have the woman's best friend. And 9-3-3 flop, and Mark, even though he only has ace high, is way ahead of Hayden's queen high. Hayden got a continuation bet, 900K. Mark not believing Hayden's story, counting out chips.
Mark raises.
And Mark with the raise here. And he's going to win the pot. There's a pre-flop raise percentage. Mark, the most active player, raising 30%, 36% of the time. And this is just since we've got to four-handed. Here we find Mark picking up the queens under the gun, and again, he's been the most active player, so regardless, he's always raising with this hand.
Mark raises.
Unfortunately for him, nobody has anything,
Brandon pulls.
and Mark keeps chipping up.
Shade pulls.
Mark's over 10 million in chips now.
I promise you, you couldn't beat it.
And look at Mark. 11 million in chips. Brandon under the gun with the king 8 of clubs. Probably be coming in for a raise here.
Brandon raises. Diamond.
Mark is up to 9.7 million. He's chipping away. Hayden is going the wrong way.
Yeah,
Mark is feeling himself right now to making such a good fold. Now he's probably gonna take a flop for here. It's all about your tournament life, folks. Do not put it at risk.
Yeah, anytime that you can just wait and find a better spot,
Short call.
it's always better to be the aggressor than to be the caller.
I agree.
And here it is, Mark calling with the suited jack, and Brandon flops really big here.
Brandon is on fire now. That's
Brandon
what's been going
is
around
on
the.
fire.
It's been going around the table.
Yeah, each person has called a rush at some point.
Mark pulls.
Ebbs and flows.
I got you. He goes to pull, he pulls on the door, it's locked. He pulls on the door, it's locked. He's like, what the hell? And then he goes, pushes through it.
Like I did earlier. Not the only idiot.
He looks so defeated, like, y'all locked me
There we
out,
see
really?
it, Brandon with half the chips in play.
Oh, man.
Easy game. That's an easy game sometimes.
Yeah, the guy just flies in
So dejected.
for the main event.
Lock these doors. With all these people inside there, they're not me.
Does prop bets all day, day one, drinks, has fun, bags chips. Now he's sitting here four-handed, half the chips in play. Must be
I
nice.
showered a 10% swap with Brandon, and he had already bagged chips, and I had not bagged chips.
That's why you're the best. Hayden picking up
Can
the
you
ace
imagine
king
that?
and ships it in here.
I don't think he's gonna do it.
No, he's not calling. He
Oh
is
my goodness.
calling. What I meant to say was he's obviously calling
We
here.
already know that every time I say something, the opposite happens. I got no idea what I'm doing.
And King 9-7. So Brandon's gonna be looking for a 5, running diamonds or a running straight, and there's a 8. So now he could catch a 5 or a 6, and Hayden will double up, and this starts evening the stacks out again. Even after that loss, so Brandon is still a chip leader. And there you see it, Brandon 13 million, Mark 9 million. Hayden at 6.3 and Hayden at 6.8, Chris at 6.3. Chris, not long ago, was chip leader. Now is the short stack. He's yawning. It's been a long day, folks.
What are the chances I can get one of these locally that can give me a sugar-free Red Bull? They're out? They're like all Red Bulls?
You think I can't read Chris?
If they have
I just said how
sugar-free
tired he
Red
was,
Bull,
and he just orders a Red Bull.
He attempted to order Red Bull, but they told him they were out. Brandon wakes up to ace king in the small blind.
Yeah, they're saying that they think this might be a misdeal,
Marks the button.
but I think the button's right. Got it. They're calling this thing a misdeal.
Yeah, I mean, I believe you. I just didn't want him to kill the deck before we got confirmation.
Okay, so they did misdill it. Our graphics screwed us off.
Oh yeah, because I was super happy,
So-
happy with myself for not raising. Ever winner. We better get you Red Bulls.
Yeah, now they're doing it right. So it is Chris's big blind.
301.
Also that. Yeah, bro. She's a new one.
Marky Mark. What's up with the ace jack suited? Chris king 3 suited and then
It's ace jack double
off.
suited.
2 is better than 1. Chris is probably just gonna fold. He opened to 1.9 million.
Push door. You look so dejected. You look so dejected. You're like looking at all these people. Yeah. That was fantastic. That made my night, bro. If I bust forth, I'm gonna go home and tell a story about how I watched you couldn't figure out a push pull door. And how my night was
I would
ruined
imagine the
because of it.
the level is gonna be going up fairly soon, and stacks will be very shallow at that point.
Yeah, we've talked all day about how great the structure's been, and obviously at some point the blinds need to keep going up and up and up, and they're gonna get shallow. That's just how tournament poker is. If nobody's gonna bust, it's gonna be forced into busting. And we see here, even four-handed right now, the average stack is 22 big blinds.
Tournaments are usually done by this level, so
Yeah,
now
exactly.
we're here.
And you see these guys, they're getting really tired. It's been a long week. It's been a long tournament.
Easy game. Is the monster stuck over?
Yes.
Is it over now? Long time ago.
I'm gonna see my big one to go swim real quick.
Yep.
And here we have Chris picking up an ace-9 under the gun. Four-handed, this is a really big hand. Chris could open 800,000.
Always a good time whenever they flip the cards like that right before I Yeah, no, I say that all the time.
Jesse says, "Love you, DJ." I guess he doesn't love me
I say that all
anymore.
the time.
So for those that don't know Jesse Payton, he's a professional comedian. He's really funny. Back in the day, we used to be friends, and he used to acknowledge me. Now he doesn't even return my texts, but that's all right. I still know who he is. I don't forget the little people. He does, obviously. If I wasn't a washed-up poker player, he'd probably remember who I was.
During the pitch, you asked? Like, during the pitch? Yes. No! It was good enough. A deuce and a 8, deuce and a 6. Deuce and a 6, 16.
And as you see here, Brandon 31 big blinds has a big stack. Hayden the shortest with 14 bigs. That means it's anybody's ball game here. Well, by anybody's ball game, I mean anybody but mine or yours, CJ. Because we can't win this.
I cashed for more than you did, buddy.
You did.
And I didn't even make day 2.
I played more hours than you did.
Nice.
I bet I had more fun than you did.
That is absolutely true.
I might or might not have drank the bar out of Jameson 3 consecutive nights.
That's an impressive feat.
Chris raising up here with the 8. 4 clubs. And Hayden does flop a pair. But if Chris continues here, it's going to be hard for Hayden to continue on the ace 9-6 flop with bottom pair with his chip stack, and Hayden is reaching for chips. Like I said earlier, Hayden's that sneaky type of player that he just hangs around, and Hayden goes all in. And obviously, Chris is not going to call with the 8 high. Hayden obviously picking up on something off of Chris there. Oh, and Chris found his Red Bull. I don't know about you guys, but 3 o'clock in the morning seems like a very odd time to start drinking Red Bull.
Man on a mission.
Folds to Hayden in the small blind with King Jack, and he's just gonna get it in here. Mark's not gonna be able to call.
You can just chip back up to about 20 big blinds.
We see here Hayden waking up with a pair on the button, and
Oh,
Brandon
man.
in the big blind with 2 kings.
He has 20 bigs now.
Yeah, he has, and he's gonna ship it. He's not gonna like it when he gets looked up here.
Hand of the day.
We have talked about this all day. 3s have been the hand of the day. And Hayden is all in for his tournament life with 3s against Brandon's kings. And Queen 6-6 spot. Hayden's going to need 1 of the 2 remaining 3s. The turn's a queen. Still looking for a 3 and a 3 only. And it's a brick, and Team Lone Star Pro Hayden, very great run, bro. He's gonna earn $25,400 for his 3rd place finish. Excellent job, Hayden. Looking forward already to Lone Star Poker Series 3.0. And this gives Brandon a very massive chip lead. He has almost 2/3 of the chips in play.
Holy moly.
He could really lean on these guys now, knowing that right now they have 35, almost 36,000 locked up for 3rd, but a prize jump of getting almost to 50,000 for 2nd place.
Y'all got me. Booked.
And Brandon, just like that, is back at it.
Yep,
Absolutely
and
booked
Brandon,
on that
blind
one.
versus blind, picks up 2 9s, and he moves in. And Chris knows he's going to be moving in a lot of hands here. So Chris is going to survey Mark's chips.
I'm such a nit, and I'm so bad reading. I'm so bad.
He's folding.
Yeah, and Chris is saying, like, I'm such a nit. Because that is a pretty nitty fold.
Shocked now. Like, I could just hear 3 people just yell no through that wall.
And yeah, and Brandon did pick up 2 9s, but it did not take 2 9s there for Brandon to move in, right? Like, what's he moving in there with?
Jack 10.
A card. The dealer could have dealt Brandon 1 card there, and he would have moved in.
What happened? Did you call her again, Yeah. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and like I said, Brandon's going to really start leaning on these guys now. Brandon's very experienced in this type of situation. He knows it's going to be hard for either of these guys to call. And Brandon picks up another monster, and I still expect him to stay all in.
Oh, yeah. I synced it.
Brandon raises 900.
Was there any other option?
I mean, he could have just not looked at it.
Yeah, I guess it's a little too much to be moving in, but he's going to be open raising a lot of hands.
And Mark is about to take
Yeah.
a flop.
I think Mark should be folding this hand here. Just Chris is so short. And Chris is really hoping for fireworks between these two guys.
And here comes some fireworks.
Yeah, and it looks like Mark's going to lead out with a donk bet here. Maybe he's just rearranging his castle, and nope, he does bet 700,000.
Brandon's gonna raise it up.
Yeah, and Mark's obviously folding. He's no pair, no draw, no hope. So, yeah, the best case scenario there, right, for Chris would have been if Brandon were able to bust Mark, where he can move up another 15,000. Chris has done a great job of, when he was short early, he laddered his way up. It was folded him in the cutoff, and he just folds 2 4s. And he said he did it because there was somebody who was shorter than him that was posting the blind the next hand. And he was really hoping to ladder up from 8th place to 7th place and pick up a couple extra thousand. If he was worried about laddering up a couple thousand at that point, imagine the thoughts going through his head about laddering up 15,000. And this is not a hand that he's going to fold here. He's going to move all in, pick up the blinds, I'm sure.
I was hoping that was an ace, to be honest with you.
Really?
Come on, squeeze out another leg in there.
The ace of hearts or a 7?
Yeah.
It's not it.
And honestly, I would have been comfortable with these underneath the chips.
You see our buddy Adam sweating back here in the back. Kid just moved down here from Arkansas to. Well, he actually came down for a weekend to play some PLO games. That weekend expired about 6 months ago, and he's still here.
He's gotta renew his visa.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you should have to have a passport to come in from Texas, from Oklahoma. But he's become friends with Chris and I, and we've done a lot of hanging out. He's been here for about 6 months, which equals like 4 sessions for him. The guy seriously plays the longest sessions I've ever seen. There have been times where I've walked in, gone home, came back the next day, gone home, came back the next day, and he's still in the same seat, wearing the same clothes, not leaving. Loves playing poker, loves the action here in town. He is.
And like at the last second, I looked over and I was like,
Yeah, I can't imagine how full his box is right now. And if Brandon folds this, okay. And luckily for Chris, Brandon's going to raise it here. I'm not saying 100% that Chris has a hand he's going to chip in with, but had Brandon folded and Chris chipped in, he would have been in absolute jail with 7-8 versus the 8-8. And Mark just calling the raise from Brandon here,
He's
just because Chris is so short that he does not want to risk it. And Brandon does flop a flush draw. And they go check, check. And Brandon picks up the gutter with this flush draw. And like I said earlier, a lot of times when somebody raises pre-flop and they check back, they have a hand they're hoping they could get to showdown with. So this looks a lot like a queen sometimes here. Or it could be some type of draw like a 9-10, Jack-10 type hand. It just happens that Brandon had the flush and he check flop knowing he's going to get there and doesn't want Mark to fold.
And
That's
Mark
obviously
is
a
gonna
joke
lead
here.
the river.
Yeah, Mark's going to lead out the river here, and he's going to bet big.
And timing. Timing is everything.
Timing is
Yeah.
all.
Brandon's gonna put him in.
And if Brandon did have a hand like ace queen here, he just folds. And obviously he goes all in. Mark's going to make a pretty quick fold. He's not going to be very happy. Mark's timing has been very off. And with that, that puts Mark on the short stack.
I mean, but we're gonna find out.
And it looks like this is going to be the last hand at 200, 400K blind level.
250, 500.
Yeah, I'm not sure which level they're playing this one on, but we will see.
200, yeah, 250, 500. I just want to go back and say that Brandon offered me a 10% swap after day 1A. He bagged chips. I had not bagged any chips,
And can we get the
and I
reason?
showered him.
Yeah, your algorithm said no. Guys, for those of you that don't know,
10% was too much.
DJ has a non-stop algorithm going in his head. And at this point in time, his algorithm said no, don't swap with Brandon. I mean, was there any good reasoning to it, or no?
There was no good reasoning to it. Now that I think about it, I didn't even make day 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you almost made day 2 though,
Yeah.
so
I was the final
least you
person to
cashed.
bust on day 2.
You did cash.
I did cash.
did you have fun?
I did not have fun.
Oh, that's not good then.
Yeah, like at least let me have some fun. I was.
That was a fun table that we had, by the way. Me, you, Dara, Dumb Derek, Water, who's a dealer here, Law, Scotty, who ended up getting all my chips.
Mark makes a straight here on a
A couple
flush
of
board.
other people. Yeah, Mark does make the bottom end of a straight with a 4-card flush out there. They're both gonna check. The kid Noah from Corpus was also at this table. He was a lot of fun to play with. He was drinking with us, having a good time.
Brandon sitting with about 85% of the chips in play in the driver's seat.
That's a fun spot to be in, I think. I don't know. I've never been there.
But still, you can't ever let up.
That's like getting dealt like 7 spades, right?
I'm not sure.
Have you ever been dealt 7 spades?
I don't think so.
The difference in this and spades, right now, if one of these guys could, they'd go nil. You can't go nil right now. They're just stuck. They're waiting for the other one to bust. I'm not saying that either one of them were giving up and hoping to get second place, but they really, really want the other player to bust.
Second place looks a lot.
Yeah, exactly. There's a 15K pay jump. Brandon is in the driver's seat.
This is
right
where
now.
they should be discussing a chop, in my opinion. Between those two, you just let Brandon have first place. Or you let him take a little bit less than
Yeah,
first.
and
then-
Brandon seriously should be just shipping it here. He's gonna let it go, and these
Well,
guys might race
so I'm
for
gonna-
second.
They are going to race
And
for second.
Chris
baby.
puts it in. I don't see Mark folding.
Mark goes.
They're racing for second place here. 2 deuces. And when I say racing for second, I mean second at least.
Correct.
And it comes queen high. Chris is going to need a deuce. A deuce and a deuce only. It doesn't come. I think Chris did not have. Chris did
had him
have Mark
covered.
covered. So
1, 2, 3.
let's let him count it down. I'm pretty sure Chris. Nope, Chris did not have Mark covered. So Chris is going to be our 3rd place finisher. Like I've said, 35,800 for 3rd place. Good job, Chris Birchfield.
Nice run, Birch.
And Mark, can you give me an exact?
He's gonna get his name back. He's no longer Chris Bubblefield. He is back to Chris Birchfield, earning $35,800 for his 3rd place finish. Excellent job, buddy. Very proud of you. And here we go with head-up action. I know I've said it 100 times today. 1st place, $81,720. 2nd place, $49,550.
We get to watch 2 maestros, 2 wizards of the game of No Limit Texas hold a battle head to head.
We got 7.450.
7450000. Got it.
Yeah, they're going to count these stacks down real quick. Just so the stream has it right, we know what's going on. Not that we really know what's going on. You guys can listen to our commentary and hear what they're not going to do.
All day long.
This has been a very, very fun feature table all the way through. Champion Social Club put on this incredible event, Lone Star Poker Series.
Champion Sosa showed out. They showed out. It's my first time here this weekend. Love the venue. I'll definitely be back. Hopefully they put on more of these tournament series. Yeah, this was top notch.
Keep going.
Yeah, and it's showing Mark with 7,450,000. Brandon 27,625,000. They start big blind heads up. They start heads up with 55 big blinds to 14 big blinds. We're at 500K big blind. Both these guys have been pretty active. Obviously, we talked about it. The less people are at the table, the more it changes. I asked you how many people was your favorite to play. You said 2. So here they go. You are the expert heads up player because this is your comfort zone.
This is what I like to play when I'm starting in 9-handed and 8-handed tournaments.
Sorry, I've got you.
Let us play heads
That
up.
was my fault. Got him.
We don't need to add any more players to the table.
Is that comfortable or you want me to move it? Yeah, you can move it. Sounds good.
Yeah, and obviously, as everybody knows, this, we don't have to say it, but it's very hard to get hands heads up. When you're playing a full ring game, it's a lot easier to sit there and wait for a good hand. If you're playing heads up and you wait for a good hand, you could literally blind yourself all the way out of chips. And I'm just going to stop now
Yes, I got
Oh
it.
my god.
because look at these hands. I say it's very hard to get a hand, and before I could finish my sentence, I look down, and they have these two hands. I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. Apparently, it's really easy to get really good hands heads up. And Brandon is in a spot where he's going to need an ace or a runner straight. That card's no help. He's down to 1 of 3 aces, and it doesn't come, and there's Mark with the clap. And these stacks are going to be pretty close to even now.
Mark. The savant.
There you see the payouts. 81,720 to the winner, 49,550 to the runner-up.
You lose it? 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 6, 1, 7.
I've never counted out this many octagon chips before.
I had 3.
3's a lot. Nice brag.
I had 5.
Oh, wow.
6.7.
Shoot.
Yeah, how's one?
That's helpful, buddy.
Here, 2, 4, 6.7.
And if our graphics are right, it's showing Brandon with 21 million, Mark with 14 million.
So 2-1 chip lead, but a lot of play left.
Yeah, it's about a 1.5 to 1 chip lead, but close enough. I'm no math wizard. But I also said when you're playing heads up, it's hard to get a hand. And before I could finish the sentence, they had 2 jacks and ace jack. So, what do I know? They keep dealing hands like this, and this will be over very soon.
Poker Bros style.
Never mind. I'm done. I'm not talking anymore.
Jen's a Poker Bros dude.
Brandon with the king.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they're playing
on
short
the
deck.
button.
Well,
Yeah.
she's good at.
Mark's obviously going to raise it up here with the queen jack. And Mark calls to help further prove me wrong. Mark's going to limp in. And by Mark limping is probably going to end up costing him more chips, because had he raised it, Brandon would have 3-bet and he would have been able to get off. Now, since the pot's smaller, he limps in. He limped in, making it look like he has a really weak hand. And Brandon obviously raised it with the kings. He's going to come along to see the flop.
This clock comes in the paint.
Yeah, you put the bet out, let's see if it's enough to make it a minimum.
And it looks
Oh,
like
he misclicked.
he misclicked, and I've seen somebody else misclick on a final table before, but we're not going to go there.
Alleged.
And
That
it looks
misclick may
like he
have-
put in more than enough to raise. And unfortunately for Mark, these are tournament rules. This is not something they could get lenient with.
2.3 total?
This is very strict rules that you must follow for all tournaments.
That misclick may have saved him though. Yeah, granted, if he
And
take,
yeah,
if he
and
saw a
Brandon's
flop and
obviously just going to get it in here.
he might not. He make it like 5 million here.
Yeah, I mean, anything he does is
Raise.
anything he does should
5
be
million.
enough to
Oh, that's what I thought.
end the hand. And a lot of times when you make a mistake like this and you accidentally put in enough chips to re-raise, it
beat
steams you
yourself
enough.
up, yeah.
It steams you up enough where you're like, you know what, I've put in enough. I'm calling here.
And he likes his hand too.
Of course, Queen Jack heads up, big hand. Obviously, we know it plays very awful versus 2 kings. He doesn't see what Brandon has. All he knows is Brandon knows that he made a mistake. And Brandon with great sizing on this 4-bet because Mark already with 2.3 million in doesn't have to call very much more. 2.7.
Oh my gosh, he's getting ready to. He's counting out. I don't know what he's doing. Let me stop.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say what I think might happen because every time I do, the opposite happens.
All I know is that Mark has been on point every single time.
Call.
I didn't hear, sorry.
Yeah, I heard Mark announce something beforehand.
I thought
I
he said
did-
all in.
yeah,
I was
I-
like, oh my god.
All I know is if he would have said all in, that Brandon would have said call faster than he could finish the word in. So we're gonna see a
playing
flop
a
here.
very big pot, and Mark has under a pot size bet.
Yeah, if Mark flops a pair here, we're gonna see the chips get in.
Oh.
And Mark flops open ended, so he's Brandon checks it, and Mark flops open ended, and it's not the worst flop for him. If he could win this hand, he's going to be the massive chip leader. He needs an ace or a 9. Turns a 6. He needs an ace or a 9. And the river's a 9. And Mark is going to take a massive 4-1 chip lead. And it all started with a misclick. I'm not saying that it would have played any differently. They could probably still get it in on the flop. Heads up, open-ended versus top set.
Poker is a dirty game.
Yeah, poker is very dirty. And Brandon obviously is going to be very tilted here. I don't blame him. But as we've talked about all night long, you can never give up. Mark was just down to 6 big blinds himself, and now he finds himself with a 7-1 chip lead. Poker is not fair sometimes.
Mark is just, his timing has been impeccable.
Yeah, if anybody has an application out there for a Poker Bros gig, bring it to Jen.
Oh my gosh. You just ruined someone's life.
And yeah, Brandon's very tilted right now. He's going to find a way to compose himself before the next hand's dealt, though. He knows, like, these are the ways poker goes. The best hand's not always going to win.
Thank you.
Right. There you go.
This match is still far from Oaks. Far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Can easily even this thing back up.
Yep, one pot, just one double up, and Brandon's right back. They're even in chips. A lot of money on the line right now too. 81,000 to the winner. Second place finisher will get 50,000. Mark with his new favorite hand limps a button with Queen Jack. He's gonna flop top pair,
I'm sorry, Brian checks, Mark checks.
check behind. And Brandon turns a pair.
And this is not gonna be good for Brandon. He's gonna have to call a bet.
Yeah, Brandon's gonna need a 10 or a 5 to win a very much needed pot. And it's a 4, so unless Mark finds a way to fold, he's going to win another pretty big pot. And looks like about a 2 million chip bet, which is about a third of Brandon's stack. And it is hard to fold a pair heads up. Brandon finds the call and he's not gonna like the news. Yeah. Mark's favorite hand has to be Queen Jack right now.
The Queen Jack has definitely blessed Mark.
I can't imagine how many times he's gonna get it all in the next 3 months with Queen Jack.
That's
Get
my
it
hand.
all in pre and be like, that's my favorite hand, and not win. But he's still gonna come out ahead because he's going to win at least $50,000 today. Brandon moves it in with the ace high, and Mark with the king. Heads up, very strong hand. Wants to get a count.
We've seen Mark make some big folds.
3.775.
What do you think? You think he's gonna make the call?
Mark is he's a savant. He does
I
the
think he's called, and he does. He
Alright,
calls,
yeah.
and he's gonna be a 2-to-1 dog as Brandon holds the ace high. But anything can happen here,
anything can happen.
and he does flop a 4. Brandon's gonna need an ace or a 9, or some running. There's the 9. So Brandon takes the lead back, and the river is a deuce, and Brandon's gonna double. Mark's still with the 3.5 to 1 chip lead. Yeah, there you see the chip counts. And it looks like Brandon still hasn't shaken off that the king's hand. You know, even after he doubles, he's still shaking his head like this could be over. But poker's not always easy. You can't always just get it in and hold.
Yeah. You gotta keep going. It's just one hand. We've all been there.
Yeah, and if you haven't been there, you haven't played enough poker. So you need for it to happen so you can know how painful it is. Brandon finds another ace. Mark limps in, and I think I heard Brandon say all in. He did.
And I don't think Mark is going to be calling with this one. But Mark says he wants to finish it.
The opposite will happen. And queen, queen, 9. So Mark finds himself looking for a jack or some sort of running draw. No help on the turn. A jack and a jack only, or we're going to be even in chips. And it's a 5. And we're pretty close back to even in chips.
Never quit. Don't be like me.
VPIP, that's voluntary times you put chips in a pot. Mark been the most aggressive 71% of the time.
Mark is welcome to my games. Mark does not do a lot of folding pre-flop.
So Mark left with about 19.5 million, Brandon with about 15.5 million, and we have a brand new tournament. Yeah, it came, what was it, queen, queen, 9. He had the jack deuce, queen, queen, 9 with 2 hearts. Fully expected the turn to be the 10 of hearts.
No, it was only 1 heart. It was a.
That's what I mean. 1 heart. I thought the turn would be the 10 of hearts. And we continue along here. Heads up. These are little lesser hands.
Yeah, what happened to? Oh, the deck. The deck count is low now.
Yeah, the count's getting off.
We need to get the count high again.
And Brandon flopping a gutter here with his 5 deuce. And Mark looking like he wants to lead out, as he's done several times after calling a raise. What we call the donk bet. Oh, and no, he's going to check. Brandon wants to give himself a wet willy, I guess. Checks back. The turn's an 8, and yeah, he immediately looked down. I knew he was going to grab some chips. And Mark's going to pick up another pot. Guys, thanks for sticking with us all the way till 4 a.m.
Oh, man.
I've been talking about how hard it is to get these hands heads up, and these chips are about to be in the middle.
We play a lot of short deck around here. He limps the king queen on the button. Oh.
Yeah, he lips king queen, wanting Brandon to raise it, and when Brandon raises, he's going to back raise it all in. Of course, I say that, and Mark might find a fold. Yeah, Mark raised.
Well, show them.
You guys?
is this not gonna like the looks of this.
Sorry, I didn't know you with that thing.
Mark's gonna need to find a king or some clubs or a straight, or Brandon will take the massive chip lead back. And look at that. Mark flops open-ended. There's 2 hearts. Brandon holds the only heart. The turn's a 9. So Brandon's left to 2 10s or the case queen or a king to chop. It does not come. And Mark will be our champion. Great run, Brandon. 35,000 for second.
Mark came to play today.
I'm sorry. 50,000 for second. 49,550. Mark, congratulations. The winner, Lone Star Poker Series 2.0, $81,720. Congratulations. Brandon played great. Mark, you played great.
Very well played.
This is it's been a very long day. It's been a lot of fun. I loved having the feature table all day. Loved having you guys tune in to us. What do you have to say, DJ?
This was awesome. Poker. Anything can happen. And,
Anything happened. You know, we talked about it. Hayden was down to 3 big lines for a while. He built it up, laddered his way all the way up to 7th place from 20-something left, having no chips. We saw Mark do the same thing. He was down to almost nothing. Helmet Chris, 3-handed. Both had 6 big lines. Mark goes on to win the tournament.
Mark found a way to maneuver through the field. He made some big folds. He made some big calls, and
yeah,
at the end of the day, it paid off.
Exactly. You guys, you can never give up. When you get short in a tournament, you've got to keep going. Anything can happen. Poker, it's a lot of fun. Champion Social Club, Lone Star Poker Series. It's been a great week. I am very disappointed that we have come to an end, but we will be announcing Lone Star Poker Series 3.0. Next event will be coming soon, and can't wait to tell you guys where it is. And there you see him holding up the Max Lane belt buckle.
The cards for just a second.
And he's going to hold up his cards for a picture. Guys, seriously, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody watching on the Facebook stream, all the questions, all the comments, all the trolls. We love them all. We'll see you guys next time.
No problem, man.
And if you want to take one with your mask off for you, you're absolutely welcome.
6 feet though, 6 feet.
Yeah, the shades though.
It's like, I know everybody knows.
That's the rule, right?
Oh yeah.
I'll have to double check.
That's the one. That's the one. I was like, I gotta find the right angle. That's the one.
Usually gotta play that 3-7 against Nick.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, are they done? Tom, you want to see if they're done talking?
I gotta play those because they're too tight, you know.
No, good job on that one.
Are we done with pictures? Can we wrap these?
Rack 'em.
I'm done.
I've already hit the count.